Welcome to a brief interlude in the massive epic British Championship series, because I'm going to be showing you Drip Drop's Coventry series, aka Lee Bullock. On the 23rd to the 26th of August, Drip Drop travelled to Coventry in the West Midlands to play 7 tough and complex games in the E2 to E4 Coventry under 135 section. E2 to E4, as you may know, is a series of tournaments run by Sean Hewitt, who I call Sean to Dead, over around the country, and you have like 3-day rated opens and majors and sometimes even minors, so they're quite good for getting 3 days. And I've only played in one myself, but they are pretty good, and I would recommend you check them out. But anyway, there was an interesting incident before the game where Drip actually plunged his card and then got to the hotel and he had to walk like 4 miles to the hotel, which he describes as a 52-mile walk, so a double marathon basically, and he had to get an emergency cast, or otherwise he was going to get kicked out of the hotel. And originally there was a moment where he couldn't well, they said originally he couldn't stay, and then he actually said he could stay, which led to him not being very happy, because scared the crap out of him basically. But it scared the crap out of anyone, to be honest. I'd probably collapse of a heart attack if someone said that to me. Yeah, scary times. And Drip actually did get his first bit of luck, where rather than getting one of the 130 odds, which all the other 123 ECFs got, he instead got 79 ECF. And even luckier, we got black. So I sort of say, if you get white v someone that you're going to beat probably all the time anyway, like a 70 odd ECF, then that's just a waste of white. So you might as well get the low rated as black. So you're probably going to beat him anyway, and then get white against the high rated. So nothing annoys me more than getting white v someone I'm probably going to beat v the colour. But Drip drops in the state. He's blundered his card. He might be getting kicked out of the hotel if he can't get his emergency transfer. It's not good, man. Not good at all. So, can Drip Drop still win the game? If you get 79, might be tough. Well, Peter Kearns, his opponent, opened with 1 C4, which is not what you want to see, because when I play low rated, so I try and blow them off the board as fast as possible. And so I'd rather they played 1 E4 and I can batter them with my French or Schliemann or something, but nope, C4 very hard to beat off the board unless you play Michael Gunn. Knight C3, E5, Knight F3. Which is a very provocative move because black can play E4, and then Knight G5, and black can actually sack this pawn, just develop, and black gets quite a lot of development for the pawn, maybe not enough, but it's interesting. Knight C6 was chosen instead. So this is now the 4 knights English variation, because there are 4 knights out, so that's why it's called that. E4. So white was like in the steps kind of bottom in the system. After Bxd5, he plays Bd2, which is a very weird move in the system. Usually he played G3 in this position, but maybe white's getting paranoid about Knight G4. If in Knight G4 you can just play D4 and this sort of thing. Well, white's going to regain the pawn back with a good position. And now yeah, black's knight's on freeze as well in this position. So white, the usual set will be G3, and if black doesn't play Knight G4, then we can play, say black plays D6, Bd2, castles, D3, and then black might play bishop E6, getting ready to play queen D7 to swap white's bishop off. And this is actually a bottom in the system, but with a knight actually on E2 rather than knight F3 rather than E2. But bishop E2 was played, D6, castles, Bishop G4. Now Queen A4 is played, but he seems to misplace the queen quite badly. I think if you're going to develop the queen, you should put it on B3 to attack the B7 point. So we are subject to temporal gain attacks. White should probably drop the queen back in this position. But Queen A4 is played. whip drop castles, and white finds nothing better to do than actually put the queen back in d1. I've made his mistake. That's the problem with playing these low rated players. Sometimes they play like the most completely like random moves ever. You just get completely confused, and then you spend loads of time trying to work out why they played it, and then find out what was just rubbish move, and then next thing you've lost on time or something. A6 is played to stop the Bxd5 pin potentially when white plays d3. d3 is played, and now comes knight d4, which is a bad move order. Black should first remove the defence of the e4 square by chopping on f3. It's quite a blocked position, so it's not too bad to drop the bishop pair. And in fact, black can take the bishop pair back anytime it wants, but this knight is too strong, so you won't do that, because that would just be an elementary mistake. And this position is very good for black. Knight d4 was played directly, and this actually drops a pawn, because after knight takes d4, bishop takes e2, drops a piece to knight d takes e2, so you have to take this first. And now, yeah, she drops the pawn down against the 79. Could life get any worse? c6 was played. Rook e1. But white now has turned this around. Okay, the extra pawn's doubled, but white also has the bishop pair as well, so all in all this is turning into quite a large plus for black. When you've white. Queen a5, Bxd2, Fe8, bishop f3, bishop b6, queen c1. Here's white thinking of a second h6, queen c5, bishop e3, queen e5, d4 with tempo, queen goes back, bishop d2, bishop c7, get a bit of manoeuvring, b1, d5 was played, which is a blunder, and I'm very surprised. I'd expect in fact white does play the correct move actually, or one of the correct moves. In this position I would play e5, so knight comes in, then take, and just win the pawn, and white's got a protected pass pawn on d4, and white would just steamroll back with these pawns. It's a very easy position to play. An alternative, if black just comes back with the knight instead, then this pawn actually just drops, and then b7's going to drop as well, and white's going to be 3 pawns out of a winning position. And drop instead should have just defended his pawn instead of playing this rather weird counter attack. So d5, but ed5 is correct as well, because now we're on the queen. Queen d6 to friend mate, well not mate but a mating attack, g3, cd5, and c5 was played, which is not the best move. Yeah, I didn't know to start this morning because the postman woke me up. Plus I want to get these games over with so I can get my free snake back. White should instead just chop on b7. It's a free pawn. If white tries to chop the rook with bishop b6, and that's not going to work. We take this guy. c5 was played instead, which looks tempting, but he's not that great. Queen a6, queen d1, which is a very strange move. Doesn't even do anything. Rook ab8, Qc2. So white has actually dropped his a2 pawn, but now we could have played rook a1 and regained it, which he did. Queen b2. Now for some bizarre reason white doesn't just play rook takes a7, but instead decides to offer a queen swap. And now black is back to equality. He has a nice knight. And now the c3 pawn is coming under a lot of attack. In fact white just drops it. So white has completely thrown away a completely winning position. And it looks like it's not going to be a scalp, but it's still actually equal, this position. So rook a1, b6, that's c6. And white is actually now better with this passed pawn with the rook behind it. Black has to be very careful. Rook e7, bishop f4, dislodging the rook. Now trick drop plays bishop c3, which is an absolute calamitous blunder. He had to play rook c8. c7, now g5 to try and get the bishop off this diagonal. The bishop a6 would be thrown in as an in-between move. And now, white will play this. Bishop c8, rook c8, f3, gf, So job had to drop the exchange for a pawn. Not good. So job tries to mess it up with Bxd3. And what would you play in this position if you had white pieces? Pause the video. Well, there's about 52 wins in this position. The move which is played, which is c7, is actually one of them, but not very good. Rook takes a7 is the strongest move, a beautiful move, getting the rook out of attack, taking the pawn, and after rook a7, bishop b8. Now what does the rook do? If rook a1 check, we just play king g2 and castle the c pawn. The bishop controls d6 square. It's very difficult to calculate this anyway. Simple alternative is bishop just take the rook, bishop b8, bishop a1, c7, and black has to forfeit his rook. But he plays c7 directly, and now rook c8 holds on a bit for white, but black instead he plays rook takes c7, bishop takes c7, rook c8, and white plays bishop f4, which is still winning, but stronger still is to play rook takes a7, bishop takes, and after bishop takes d4, rook b7. White has just up a lot of material, black's nothing to show for it. Bishop f4 was played, and knight f2 in the between move. Kevin enjoying so much. It's 11:22 now. He's got din soon. Bishop d2 was a nice move. White missed. Knight d3, rook c3, rook c3, bishop c3, and white is a rook up for 3 pawns, and will probably win the pawns. King f2 is now very bad after bishop d4 check, bishop e3, rook c2, bishop c2. White now drops his rook in the corner. And amazingly enough, white has been completely swindled in this position. Okay, it's not losing, but black has 4 pawns for a piece all of a sudden. So where did it all go wrong exactly? So king f2 was a bit of a stupid move. King f8. Get the king in game. Why should be able to hold this? Black has got 2 connected pass pawns on the queen's side, but it should be holdable. Straight drops now, drop d5 pawn, there's nothing you can do about it. And now bishop c4, which is not a good move. The reason bishop c4 is not a good move is that the fact is white has a draw move in this position. If you want to try and spot it, please like the video. The point is, what you want to do is in these bishop endings, when you've got the bishop, you want to try and make the bishop only do the job, all the work on one diagonal. You look at this position and assess with your brain what are black's 2 most dangerous pawns. Well, it's obviously the A and B pawns. Now, you also want to protect your h5 pawn so black doesn't have 3-2 on the king's side. So I'm sure it's pretty easy to work out that the bishop should obviously go to the e8 square. Bishop on the square provides many functions. It stops black's pawns and protects white's pawn, and there's no way for black to win this position. You can try for 52 hours because the time control is 90 minutes for all moves plus 30 seconds increment. You could play till 5 AM in the morning in 2 minutes, but it's not going to work. It's draw. But bishop c4 was played and that allows the pawns to start going through, and now white completely collapses. He drops his h pawn. And now the actual funny point is that if black plays anything other than king g6, then bishop f7 is actually mate. But black obviously plays it. Now this pawn comes through. The pawns are coming marching down the board. And now b4. Now h4, very nice. The winning breakthrough. f4 check. Straight choice points ending pretty well actually after a crap start to the game. And now white can resign. And White does resign in this position because one of the pawns is just going to win the bishop and the other will queen. So, all in all, a very interesting game. Well, White actually, despite his very low grade, actually did play some of the parts very well, despite his random queen move in the opening. And Shipchov did not play well at all, but that is understandable. Seeing, of course, with his card blunder, the Santander Gambit or something. So after the Santander Gambit resulted in dropping the pawn, he fought back into the game, but should have been the rook down for nothing, but ended up winning a drawn end in the end. Just another day at the office, I guess. I'll be back later for Trip Chop's later games, because I'm soon off to the chippy. But for now, please leave in the comments some thoughts. Thanks very much.